I'm sure you've had some time to look at the numbers this morning. Broadly speaking, quite a number of some of the sectors that are on our markets, where you have companies within those sectors, reported various GDP numbers. For example, construction, where you have, well, the likes of the cement companies lumped a little bit together with Julius Berger and the rest of them. And you have the food, beverage, and what you call the consumer goods sector. So the industrial goods, the banking, which is, well, representing the financial services with insurance. Then you have the consumer goods. That tells you some good stories from the industrial sector.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Like you said, it's even apparent around us. There's quite a lot more property developments. There's quite a lot more going on in the sector. So if you look at the food and beverage sector, the industrial sector, there's quite a significant growth there. I think the strongest for 10 quarters. And so, like you said, across most of the other sectors, it was quite strong. Non-oil GDP grew 2% and was a major grew 2%, which is the strongest for about 10 quarters. And it's telling of the story. While the GDP came down because of contribution of non-oil, contribution of oil, we saw the contribution contract by 4% from 14.7% in the preceding quarter, primarily due to production numbers. So, I mean, it's still a pretty positive story from non-oil because of the performance across sectors. There was really no real sad story there, except for the agriculture, which declined from a growth of about 3% to 1.1%, which represents the lowest we have since 2008. So, generally speaking, besides the oil sector, which the issues there are well known, with the production numbers down to 1.84 from 2.22 million in the preceding quarter and 1.87 million year on year in the year past. So the story is quite positive from that perspective. I mean, if oil picks up, we could be looking at stronger numbers going forward.
So, if for those of you who are economists and research analysts, how do I trade or invest in these GDP numbers? Does it give me an idea of what sectors I should be following, where the GDP seems to be steamrolling, or those that are laggards, and perhaps I could say, I could see some growth here, I need to pick up some? Or is it a good story for those who are in the debt market, fixed income, treasuries, and bonds?
Generally, growth is a good thing. For the growth in the economy is a good thing. So, looking at those numbers, say for the Greek, you're looking at strong markets right across. Yes, some sectors are not performing. The growth rate dropped quite considerably. I'm talking about the financial services now, but the reason is clear. So, I mean, we still expect very strong performances from the likes of the financial services companies this year. Construction is doing quite well, but access to that market is not significant. I mean, in the debt market, you have some companies in which you can invest in, but primarily we like financial services to invest in the equity side. And debt from construction companies, I'm sure more will come up in time. I mean, we're starting to see a lot more corporate issuances, so I'm sure that there will be opportunities to invest there. And the numbers are showing that, I mean, it's growing strongly. And if you combine that with central bank support through the RSSF, the Real Sector Fund, which is supposed to drive growth across sectors, you can look at it as a positive that a lot of these sectors should be growing over the medium term. And so
exactly, Jeremy, you're just stepping into what's on my mind with the current, with the new corporate bonds, RSSF, the Real Sector Support Facility of the central bank, just being rolled out, and those who are already on the commercial paper side. So you have Dangote Cement, one of the big boys in the industry, heavy on the commercial paper side. You have Nigerian breweries also with commercial paper. Then there's the new RSSF program under the central bank is about the corporate AAA folks to issue corporate bonds. Do you think these are some of the sectors where we should expect the AAA companies like maybe Julius Berger, Lafarge, the rest will come out with corporate bonds?
Yes, I would expect that a lot of them would take advantage of this facility to come and issue long-term bonds. And I mean, you have central bank support, which is perfect. But beyond that, I mean, there are a few AAA rated companies. You have Dangote that will be rated quite highly, and Julius Berger, if they did come out, I don't believe they have a rating, an available rating now. But if they were rated, I imagine that they will be rated very close to the AAA. But beyond that, I mean, the central bank has basically given a structure, for a framework by which other companies beyond those that wish to can access funds from the banking system, access funds at a better cost for the banking system. And if you look at the fact that a lot of companies, the issues they have is with the high cost of borrowing in the country. It's positive for quite a lot of sectors, provided they qualify for the fund. And obviously, banks create the risk assets to drive the real sector growth. So, I mean, generally, if you look at both sides of or all the aspects of the RSSF, it's positive for those sectors going forward. I mean, I don't expect immediate impact. It will be over more of a medium-term outlook, but it's positive, very positive indeed.
Jolomi Odongaro, Associate and the team lead for Fixed Income Research at Afro Invest. Thank you very much. And it's nice to have you debut here on Business Morning on Channel Television. Thank you very much. Live from our studios in downtown Lagos. What's the story? Everyone is poring over the latest GDP numbers on Twitter. Folks are saying they're looking through the report. Ken Yoka says on Twitter, he said, agri sector really underperformed. Also, the real sector, something definitely is not going well for the current government, considering the huge debt profile and results achieved. Another of our viewers says, the broadcasting sector caught my eye. That's Olatubo Sinakejo. So that's some of the numbers. Let's go back to the marketplace after this timeout. 2 minutes. We'll be right back.